So today we are going to be building the Cara Dune Heavy Blaster. Oh, this is a big one. Oh, so pretty. Oh, so pretty. So this is the blaster we're going to be building today. Yay! Okay, so now we can start getting this big bad boy together. Now, as usual, I kind of lay everything out where it goes, so I kind of know where everything's going to be. Also, for this one, it's nice. It uses a 5/16 inch dowel or metal rod, depending on what you want to use, for the length of the entire gun. Now, it uses two different sizes, one for the top and one for the bottom. The bottom one is longer because it goes through all the way to the buttstock. So the bottom one is approximately 36, 7, 38, 39, 41, 42, 43 and a half inches, roughly. And the top one is about 34 and a half, 34 and 3/4 inches long. I just dry fit everything together, kind of judge where it'd be at the end of the barrel, and cut them out to get the sizing. So we have our rods, we have our parts. As always, we have our super glue. Remember to shake well. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. And then I also like to use the quick set sometimes to help speed it up. So I'm going to start from the back and kind of build it forward. So we have our buttstock here. Our longer rod. It's just going to slide right in there like that. Now I'm going to put a little bit of glue in there to make sure I have a nice solid connection as well. So I'm going to take my super glue. Just squirt some down in there. And then make sure I have my longer rod. And just squish it on in there. So there's the start of our gun. Now, the part with the hole, that's going to be the bottom. So I'm going to take my next piece. Slide it on down. You'll see how it fits together like that. But I'm also going to use my super glue. I take my glue. I'm going to put a little bit on the rod. And squish that on down. See, we're starting to just kind of build our way up. So the next part's the main receiver. Again, trigger goes down. And I'm just going to slide that on. Then when I get close, again, I'm going to add some glue both along the plastic part and along the rod. Because since this is a big gun, I want to make sure everything's nice and solid. And then you'll notice that it has grooves to help fit everything together. You can actually feel that snap together. And we get to this point right here. Now, and this part isn't drying, so I am going to give it a squirt to help all that set a little bit better. Get some of that in there. I just don't want to twist it on me as we work on the rest of the gun. Come on. this up just a hair to get that squirt in there. There we go. So now we're getting a nice solid fit. So now, if you notice, we have our second hole. Oh, oh, oh. That is for the other rod. But I'm going to put some super glue down in there. And then I'm going to put in my second rod. Yay! Now we're going to use our middle receiver part. Now you notice the little notches on the bottom. This is the bottom. Those notches are going to be where that pole sits. It doesn't actually go through this part. So I'm going to put it through the top part here. Slide it down. And then those just fit inside that groove there. Now again, before I slam it all the way down, I'm going to add some glue. Put some along the rods. And then it just slides down and locks right in like that. So you see how we're starting to build this thing up all the way down the length. Now the next part is the final front of the receiver. Grooves are the down part. You see it has the 2 holes. So I'm just going to line those guys up. Slide it on down like that. And again, as it's getting longer and longer, some super glue. Some super glue along the rods. And then it just slides on down and thunk. See how having those rods really helps to keep everything nice and aligned. You really don't have to worry about it that much. Now I'm going to go ahead and keep working. I'm going to start with the top part of it. So I'm going to have to set this down now so I can kind of slide things around. Now the top starts with this piece here. You see it has actually square openings. So I'm going to slide that on. And that's going to line up with the square parts right here. So, put some super glue. Remember sound effects while you're working or you will go nuts. That's going to slide in there and then slide into that square as well. Now the bottom part has a square as well. It goes right along the bottom right here. So I am going to go ahead and put some glue on here. Now it's easier. Slide that on down, put some glue along the rod itself. That's going to slide on and just click right with that square opening there. Now to continue on with the top part, the next part is the top grip. You notice it has a square and a round. That makes it easy to know which way it goes because square will go into square. And you want this to be facing straight up. So I'm gonna put some glue in here, a little bit around it, This will slide right on here. Then I'm gonna put a little bit on the rod. And then I'll slide right into that square connector. Facing backwards, square to square, we're all good. Yay! Now the next part is the round part for the top. So I'm going to put some glue on here. Slide it on down. Put some glue on the rod itself. And that goes on right like that. Now for the bottom part, we have the part with the little flange. That goes on first with the flangey part towards the front. And it also has a little cutout here that's going to attach to the top barrel. Put some on the rod. So this is going to slide on the bottom. And then the top is going to snap right in. So it's going to give it a lot more rigidity towards the front where you have the two different barrels. Now we have the little heat break. That is going to go on next on the bottom. And that's going to make everything nice and even for the final two parts at the front. So, now we have this part. Big groove, small groove. Small groove facing forward on the bottom. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue around the circles. Notice I'm only putting the glue around the circle area because that's where it's going to have contact here. And I think it's time for a new super glue. And you will notice I already have one. Yay! Give it a good shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Then I'm going to put some glue along the rails. Bigger part towards the bottom. And slide it over both of these guys. Dunk. And there we go. Now the final part is the front of the barrel. See the little notch? Notch goes on the top one, so you want it to go on like this. Go ahead and put some glue on here. Put some glue on the rest of my guys here. And then this just slides. Oh, super glue splatter. It slides right on the top like that. And there is the basic layout of the gun. Oh, and I see some super glue splatters that are a lot easier to clean up when they are wet versus sanding them off when they are dry. Note to self. There we go. So that's the main length of the gun. You'll notice that everything locks together real nice. Everything fits together nice. Makes for a nice solid connection. And we get that whole length of the gun. Now I'm going to let this sit for a minute or two and then I'll come back and finish it off. Okay, so this had a little bit of time to set, and now it is a pretty solid structure. Ho, ho, ho. So I'm going to set this aside for a second. Now I'm going to bring out the big underbarrels. Put these guys together. Now, along the top, you'll see it has some parts. It has this little guy, has the cross lock, has a clip string, and then also the two sides are separate pieces. Again, this is for ease of paint, but we're going to end up putting these guys together. So, first thing is just glue these plates on. Let's see, yep. And these just snap right on. Same thing on this one. Just snap those guys on. I'm going to flip them over. Do the same thing with the bottom pieces. It'll just snap right on like that. Now you notice on one side there's a hole. That hole is for these cool little guys. Boop. Now remember, these are going to be sitting under the gun like this. I like having the little circle parts towards the top. That's going to go on like that. That one's going to go on like that. And there we go. Now, these also go together. You'll notice there are some holes. Those holes are for dowels to help strengthen the connection again. Now, these guys I cut down to about 1, 2, 3, 4 3/4 inch each. And those are going to go together and help connect those pieces together. So I'm just going to grab this guy and dump some glue down the holes. And then drop my dowels in there. Then I'm going to add some glue to the plastic. On this one, I'm also going to drop some glue down the dowel holes. Make sure I get these edge pieces too. And then junk. There we go. So you see how those fit together. Now on the bottom, like I said, there's a few greebles that go in here. And they fit together so you pretty much know where everything goes. Little sling has 2 pegs, 2 pegs. So it's going to fit in there just like that. The long one goes in the long hole. Turn key goes in the deep hole. I got a little overzealous in the glue there. Still a little overzealous. There we go. That's going to go like that. And then you have these two little pieces. These goes in the holes in the center, the circles. Like so. So, I'm going to let this set for a minute, just like I did the barrel, or the rifle. But now we can go back to working on the actual rifle. So bring this guy back. Now we can start adding on all the little extra pieces. So we may as well start at the front. We have little plates that fit in the front of the barrel. So add a little glue, just like you do. You go like that. Now the round holes, you'll see there's one actually for the back and for the front. Those are for these little clip guys. Oopsie, there you go, these little clip guys. It is fit, and the clip always faces backwards. So it's gonna go in like that. You can see that. So I'm going to add a little glue. Stick that on in there. Then I can kind of keep working my way back. Let's see here. What do I want to do next? I guess we can go ahead and start working on the handle, the grip. Now the grip also has holes for, guess what? You guessed it, dowels. Now these guys, let's see what I measured these out to be. About 4.5, 4 3/4. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue down those holes. Put some glue down these holes. Put some glue along the actual handle itself. The dowels go all the way down. And then slide into the receiver. And I think I might have used the wrong dowels. This doesn't look like it wants to fit all the way in. Yes, I did. They're about the same length, but one is a little bit longer. I think I used the longer ones for the underbarrel. So I am just going to use my Dremel and cut off a little bit. fit now. Yep. Okay. So add some glue back. Smack that guy up on in there. I'm going to use a little bit of Instaset. Let all that get nice and set. Then we can keep on working our way back. And this gun is getting bigger than my table. There we go. Little dial goes on the bottom of the grip. Now this part is your bottom for your buttstock. And time for another super glue. Da da da! I'm going to put some glue along this part too. You always try to look at how many spots are going to touch, because you want to give yourself as much grip with everything as you can. I'm just going to lock that in there like that. And again, if you're getting a little super glue that squishes out, it's a lot easier to wipe it up while it's wet than, as you can see, my fingers are getting coated in it, than to sand it off once it gets hard. Where's our other little flip piece? Again, goes facing backwards. That's just going to pop right in there like that. Now we have this little plate piece. Goes right in there. Ta-da! Now you got the little cutout here and the buttstock. You have two different plates for the buttstock. You have one that has a hole in it and one that doesn't. On the right side of the gun, you want to use the one that has the hole in it. It also matches up because you have a hole in the buttstock as well. So I'm going to glue this in here. And that's because you have a little sling ring. That's going to go all the way through. That's going to sit in there right like that. Let's see if everything is dried and tackied. So I can flip this guy over. As I flip it over, I'm going to show you what I did down here a little bit closer, since the camera and the gun is getting too big. There you go. So you can see how the bottom plate went in, the connector, the plate, and the knob. Oh, and the plate here. So now I'm going to turn her on over and work on this side. So this time we're going to use the plate that's flat. Little knob sticking up. It's going to go right in there like that. We're going to attach our L plate, L bracket down here at the end. We have this latch. The latch is going to go in the groove here and snap in like that. I'm pretty sure I did, but I can't remember if I did my shaky shake. Shake, 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 shake. That's just going to snap right in there like that. Now this is the front side assembly. And it is going to go right in the groove up here, and it touches down here in the back. So I'm going to put some glue up in here. And then in the part, I'm going to put a little glue where it attaches. And this is just going to sit in there and touch down just like that. Now, since we're on this side, we can also do the front side assembly. Now, this is going to snap into that groove all the way up in the front. Whoop, if I don't drop it, and I caught it. Yay! So, some glue. Going up here. Snap that guy right in there like that. Now we also have the trigger. Da-da-da. Go ahead and put that guy in. Get him going in there. We have one more little plate. This is for the top back here. Got a little nubby on this. There we go. That goes right in there like that, and it's super glued to my finger instead of the gun. We also have this big wheel, the adjustment wheel, goes right there. Then we have the forward grip. Now this just slides right over like that, but it also, guess what? A dowel! Let me see, I didn't actually measure this one. I'll just use this piece here. Probably gonna need about 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 3/4. Mine's a little short, but it'll work. Actually, you know what? That's going to be a pressure point. I want to use as much as I can. So, ouch. I'll show you how I measure the dowels anyway, so that if you do want to make your own measurements, you can. All I'm going to do is stick that all the way down. Take my handy dandy little Sharpie. Outline where it's at. Go in here and see how much further down it goes. Mark it. And then just measure how much I need to add. So it goes in about a little over a 1/2 inch between a 1/2 inch and 3/4. So I'm just going to take my other line and add in 1/2 inch 3/4. Oops. Mixing up tops. Then I'll go ahead and cut this guy. There we go. And before I put my glue in, I'm going to make sure I got the right fitment. Yep. So some super glue. Put some down in there. Put some in here. And there we go. Now the last part we have is the buttstock plate. It's just going to go on the end right here. And again, my gun's getting too big. So I'm going to go ahead and add some glue. Snap that guy on there. Use some Insta-Set. And there we go. Yay! So here we have the actual rifle itself. Now we just need to attach the double drums. Now you want, uh-oh, that part hasn't dried yet. You want those part facing forward, the ones with the big knobs. And basically you're just going to, and I'm running out of hands and room. I just had that one piece of super glue that doesn't want to dry. And basically, this is going to fit right in there. Okay, quick addendum. After testing the fit and realizing that it wasn't getting a nice good seal here, the parts with the big Greebles face backward, not forward. It fits in there and snaps in there going this direction, and then everything seals up nice.